What I found out, personally, is that once you get your gut right, you actually can cure a lot of things. You can solve a lot of the challenges that are out there. And I'm here to talk to you about that today. My name is Larry Ortega. I'm a health and wellness coach. For the last 30 years, my career has encompassed finding resources for community for improved quality of life. I've been featured on 17 different news, TV channels, as well as newspapers over the last 30 years. To the extent of my work, not really me being featured, but the people that I've helped being featured on television, getting access to those resources. So my life is pretty much committed to helping people, to helping our community, and to getting people information that they may not necessarily be aware of. I've been able, through my work, been able to touch over 30 million lives. Me, my family, and many of my friends have personally experienced the miracle of the human body and its ability to heal itself. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to provide you a quick glimpse of how we all might be able to engage that similar experience. So, busy lifestyles enable poor food choices and in turn directly result in a lack of sleep. Who has brain fog? You've seen brain fog, who knows about brain fog, low energy, digestive issues, and more, right? And that's because the foods that are laden with chemicals, sugar, glyphosate. I recommend maybe getting something to write with or get a camera out because we're going to be covering some stuff pretty quick here. And there will be a test at the end of this, by the way. All right? Hopefully everybody can pass here. But essentially, sweeteners is all kinds of bad stuff. What I like to call is gut feel. Next slide. Or stomach feel, which has caused an increased rates of diabetes, leaky gut. Who's heard of leaky gut? Yeah? Cardiovascular disease. We probably all have somebody in our family who suffers from cardiovascular disease. It's the #1 killer in America today. And cancer. And these rates continue to increase among children and adults. What's scary is that children now are finding themselves with some of these diseases that were not even around 30 years ago. Next slide. So why are Americans so overweight? Well, one guess is that 55% of the stuff that we eat, right, comes from highly processed foods, which I like to call garbage, right, that I showed you in the previous slide. And can we start the video and listen to this report real quick?
The reason why Americans are fat is because we don't eat real food. We eat processed food. In fact, Americans get 55% of their calories from ultra-processed food.
Oh, you can't see the
And
time.
what is an ultra-processed food?
Okay.
Garbage, poison, things that your body isn't supposed to have in it, like seed oils and all kinds of chemicals, preservatives.
What's in there?
What? Yeah, you know, hey, call me a dreamy optimist if you will, but I want my food in my pantry to be waiting around for my great-grandchildren and their great-grandchildren to enjoy. Right?
It's all
Right.
apocalypse will come in handy.
I mean, and if that ultra-processed food is made out of mostly plastic, I would only hope that by then they'd come up with a way to make my great-grandchildren out of plastic.
They are going to make them out of plastic.
Here's a news report covering this.
New data released by the CDC shows an alarming nutrition reality for many kids and teens. Overall, we're eating less ultra-processed foods. They still make up more than 50% of the total calories we consume, a number that's even higher for children 18
Next
years
slide.
old and younger.
And so we have, what we know is that if your gut is not right, bad things will happen. But nobody tells us this. We're not taught it anywhere. Our doctors don't talk about that. We're not seen in school. It's not anywhere, right? But it's very real, right? And according to Dr. Natasha McBride, who is a neurologist as well as a neurosurgeon, her quote is that all psychiatric disorders are tied to digestive disorders. That's a big claim, but she has rationale because she says that when you think about all the psychiatric drugs that we're given, where do they go? They go right to the gut, right? And then that engages what's happening in the brain.
From where I stand, all psychiatric disorders, all learning disabilities are digestive disorders. And that is the clinical experience of 20 years of work. And that is what's being confirmed now by the new explosion in science, in research in microbiome. That's the scientific name for gut flora. We called it gut flora for decades, and now the scientists started looking at it finally and called it microbiome. And they're discovering all sorts of things, all sorts of functions that are gut.
And so mental health issues are very real. And here's one of our clients who pushed through her mental health challenges by getting her gut right. She shares that until you heal your gut, you really don't know. You really don't know. She's saying that it's a baseline strategy to dealing with mental health issues. So she suffered from depression most of her life. She fought trying not to die. And 2 weeks, literally 14 days into repairing her gut, she had the will to live. And she talks about it here, but you're not able to get to the end there, huh? But she shares in tears, we won't get into it because the video is a little bit long. She shares in tears how grateful she is to the fact that she found out about this information. Because she, when you're suffering for that long, it is, it's a gigantic relief. Next slide. Barbara Reed Stint, who is the author, this is a great book, of Food and Behavior, A Natural Connection. And what she shares is that she wrote that in her book that 80% of all of her probationers, right, had severe nutritional challenges. And when she went to address some of these biochemical imbalances through the dietary changes, she observed that there was a dramatic improvement in her probationers, their attitude, their decision making. They basically started doing the right stuff. And she's on record, she's been covered, that she's had a dramatic decrease in recidivism. So people that were in her kind of group she didn't see them again because she got them right on their diet, which was really amazing. So I highly recommend everyone take a look at that book. It's cheap, like $7, $8. And it's a world of information that you have. Next slide, please. Glyphosate. How many people have heard the word glyphosate? Couple? Okay, not many, right? It's pretty amazing. It's a toxic chemical in Roundup, which is the weed killer that farmers and agriculture use. And it's basically found in everything and everywhere, and I'll show you in a minute why that is. But it's toxic and it's disruptive to our gut. And it's in our gut. Everybody has it, right? And it's been linked to leaky gut, to also autoimmune disorders, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, cancer, and more. A lot of bad stuff. Next slide. Monsanto, now owned by Bayer, right, the aspirin guys, now big chemical company, has paid out over $11 billion in settlements and verdicts related to the harm caused by glyphosate. $11 billion with a B. It's a lot of money. And still, glyphosate, a known poison, is sprayed on grains, beans, peas as a drying agent. Literally, just to dry these things out, they're spraying poison on them, so it hastens it. So who here likes In-N-Out? Anybody? Yeah? Okay. In-N-Out. Okay? They have, I thought, the freshest fries around, right? You see them cutting their potatoes out there and everything. Bad news. And it bummed me out when I heard about this too, because I love In-N-Out, right? But they have these potatoes have the most glyphosate out of all fast food restaurants around, according to a recent study. Wild, right? Wild, right? So here's how they do it. They spray the potatoes. Remember, I told you that it hastens the ripening, right? They spray the potatoes with glyphosate, and for 5 days, people can't even go out there and walk. They can't touch it because it's so toxic. And then after, they come and they harvest the potatoes, and they get to serve them up right for their customers, you guys, all of us, right? Yum, yum, right?
Theirs the highest.
Sorry?
Why is the In-N-Out one the highest?
I'm not sure why, but maybe they use the freshest potatoes, which are highly, etc. Next slide, please. Yeah, so 75% of commercial food contains glyphosate. 95% of canned beverages contains glyphosate. Studies show that glyphosate, again, it compromises the microbiome, the gut, right? And we also have studies that show that glyphosate can be removed from the gut as well, which that's the good news. Next slide. Why is it important to have a healthy gut? Well, 70% of our immune system is built in the gut, and 90 to 95% of serotonin, right, which is the feel-good hormone, is made in the gut. Poor gut health can cause mental health challenges because of the serotonin disruption. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter, and the neurotransmitter is misfiring because of a bad gut, and that's where the mental health challenges come in. And there's also vitamin deficiencies that are related to this neurotransmitter. Very sophisticated stuff, could make a whole presentation on that by itself, but suffice to say that when your gut is bad, it's disrupting these neurotransmitters, and it's pretty bad. Okay, so how many are still with me here? You guys, am I following? Yeah? All right, good deal. All right. So, there is hope, though. Next slide, please. Through nutrition, right? A repaired gut can heal the whole body and helps with serotonin production. Amazing. So, what do we know? What percentage of serotonin is created in the gut? Question? All right, excellent. All right. And so here's a short list of some of the food supports that help with gut repair as well as gut nutrition. Next slide. The solution, engaging the miracle of the human body. Imagine a world, right, where everyone is demanding nutritional therapy to make right their health challenges. Literally using nutrition as the first line of defense, right? My vision is that instead of going to the doctor, he said, take 2 aspirins, call me in the morning. He says, go get your gut right in the next 90 days and then come back and see me. Something like that, right? With the pending hits coming to our community relative to access to health care, right? Being healthy is not so much considered to be accessing a doctor, but being healthy is accessing the right foods and getting them in your gut. Next slide, please. So there are many disorders to include autoimmune, as we shared. Like my daughter, she's a walking, talking, living, breathing billboard for what gut health has done for her. For 10 years, suffered with pain every day, walking, and autoimmune, fibromyalgia, the whole thing. She got her gut right within a 90-day period. She went 95% pain-free and was able to get rid of 4 out of the 5 meds that she was taking. So it was pretty amazing. So addressing nutrient deficiencies has resulted in many benefits. To include myself as a cyclist, I had a heart attack in 23 and thought that I would never be able to ride again. I was super sad. I've ridden the entire coast of California and didn't think I was going to be able to do it because I started working out again. And I didn't have the same strength, didn't have the same, wind. And I got my gut right, and the next day I was fine. I was doing great. It was pretty amazing. Next slide. So addressing these digestive issues with regard to sleep disorders, you have organic tart cherry, Hataki fruit, Irish sea moss, chaga mycelia, turmeric root, shilajit extract, and you're like, Larry, where am I going to get these at, right? You got to find them, right? Maybe, right? There's places to get them, 100% organic. But what these, when combined, right, these help to assist with brain development as well as processing information. Next slide. And addressing the digestive issues, glyphosate, as we know, causes major interference with the gut, right? What are some of the food supports that we can combine to actually remove glyphosate from the gut? It is the digestive wheat germ, the chicory root fiber, the fulvic and humic acid, as well as the lactospores, right? Next slide. So, with helping to process information in the waking hours, you have organic eleuthero root, organic lemon, organic camille flower, and organic passion flower. And what you get calm behavior and also supports focus, right? Next slide. How many here have heard of spirulina? All right, excellent. That is great. So, it is possible to live pain-free with mental clarity, right? The spirulina, for those that don't know, is a type of blue-green algae, and it helps leaky gut nutrient deficiencies, and it helps lighten the toxic load within our gut. Next slide. Coming to the end here. It's well documented in medical journals the power of high-dose vitamin C. How many of us heard of it? Is it reported? Never been seen, but it's out there. It's actually in medical journals. It's real stuff, but it's just not getting the coverage that it needs. And so, our essential nutrients. What are our essential nutrients? These are nutrients that we need every day. Vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D. But we're not being told this. We don't even know. We're not even checking it, right? So how do we do it? We got to create a journal. We got to create a checklist. We got to find out, what we're doing. You probably said, Larry, that's silly, man. Come on, I'm not going to do that. Well, you could do that now, or you can have, the pill box with 8 to 10 different medications later, right? So it's a matter of like doing what you want to do now to make sure that you have a healthy life down the road, right? So, when the body heals, it heals everything. It is not selective. And this is from Charlotte Gerson, who's the founder of the Gerson Institute. The Gerson Institute has remarkable results dealing with cancer patients in Mexico, just through nutrition. So she's a pretty famous big person out there that's really helping create a way forward. So I think I did pretty good there. 18 minutes. How about that? Doing all right. So I want to ask you now, I want to first say thank you to Osas and Wandala very much for having me today. I really appreciate you. And I wanted to also throw it back to you, right? What are some of the takeaways that you'll have from this particular session right now? Anyone? Something, the flashbulb that went off?
Toxics in our fresh vegetables that we eat every day. Yeah.
Right? Pretty amazing. Yes? Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I knew I didn't like the In-N-Out fries.
You knew there was a reason, right?
Hey, you're weird.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah.
I do want to say, for the clinicians in the room, we gotta be careful. I invited him to come to give us information for us to think about and see what we can do differently for ourselves and our clients. I am not one of those YouTube hunting, here's the new thing, this is what they don't want you to know person. But let's listen and just think. So from the clinical perspective, we know that any mental health issue that needs treatment, we always want to start with the medical care first. You first send them to a doctor to rule out any physical condition before we even start talking about mental health. So the reason I brought this up is food is what fuels us. And more we are becoming more aware, whether you like it or not, we're becoming more aware about stuff that's out there that's not good, fast-produced everything, and what it's causing. Again, I'm saying take information and see what we can start doing better for ourselves, for our families, and for our clients. I am not saying there is no need for the medical treatment community. No. Not at all.
Not at all.
But let's start taking care of some things we all can do to maintain health or regain health and build on that. And many things start with information. They say the difference between where we are and where we need to be is information. So this was just to spark our interest. I'm not saying go hunt down, go into YouTube world and stuff, but I'm saying let's think about it. Could we start doing some things differently? Should we cut down on some things? Should we pick up on some things? Should we ask some more questions? And if we start doing that, if we're generally healthier, it's the place to start. So again, we didn't say come in here and tell them they don't need to treat their patients. No, let's all take care of ourselves, because I think we are aware today more than ever. Things are not the way they used to be. And what can we do about it? Let's get information. So he has a whole lot more. I just said start the conversation.
Right.
If people have questions, he's going to be here.
Yes.
And he will answer your questions. We're not trying to sell anything, or I'm not a member of anything. He doesn't have a group, but he does this to educate community. Right. And I figured since the last outreach we did was nutrition focused, and Javier was out there doing a demo, I told them, let's not just give community food, let's educate them on food choices. So we want to build on that and see what we can do for ourselves and our community to start trying to get better. And do that as well. And then maybe if you need to be phased out, your doctor will phase you out of whatever medication. I'm not saying stop your medication and take 2 teaspoons of the green stuff. That's what I'm saying. Try to start eating right, and then work with your doctor on what you need and what you don't need. But we want everybody to be okay, and we thought we should start this conversation.
Yes.
And if any of the program managers see something you could build up of, right? Maybe another event coming up that requires more information on nutrition or workshops and stuff like that, there could be more information. He could go more in depth. But I wanted us to be exposed to this information, to get to meet him. And then if there are other, some of your programs that require you to do some workshops or something, you could build up of that. All right?
Great.
Thank you. Did you have a question?
Would it be okay to share like a success story regarding gut health with like from the oatmeal? Yeah. So from that demonstration, me and Hobby had ran into someone at one of our outreaches, and he came up to us and he had the jar in his hand with the overnight oats. And so he was saying that he was diabetic, and since he's been doing that, he said his sugar levels have been low. Like it's been helping him a lot to be more energized through the day. So he was like really thankful for that. And it was something simple, but something that really helped him.
Right. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful.
So thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back here if you have any specific questions, or if you want him back, or if you want us to address some more specifics in the future, we could maybe have him come back and do some more of that. But